What I'd like to just wrap up with this show is just in terms of the UK, and this is at an EU level how they report, and you can see where the UK have been since 1990, and steadily declining. That black line is a 5-year average. That's their Kyoto target, and that's probably where they're going to be in 2012 on that. So they're under it already. We're over by about 10% probably today, and they're under it already. And yes, lots of reasons there. You can go back to the deindustrialisation of England or of the UK as well. But I'm sure we can talk about that. But they're looking pretty good. Obviously, they've got a Climate Change Act. They've got legislation in place with reductions out to 2050, etc. On that. So. The sectoral emissions, again, slightly different to the gentleman referred earlier. If you take the total energy, so use and on that, if you look at just 5 sectors, and then once I suppose to note is look how small agriculture is in the UK. We're at about 27% of our emissions. In the UK is at 7% or so. Transport is actually probably the same, but they have this lower per capita emissions in the UK than we have. If you look at Finland, we all look to everybody look at a smart economy. We want to be like Finland. We want a Nokia. We want to do how the Finns are doing. They're in a bit of trouble reaching they're on an upward trajectory with their emissions. They still have quite a bit to go in terms of the Kyoto target and meeting that. They were effectively given a net zero on where they were in 1990 there, but they're ahead. I mean, obviously they must have plans. They have a massive nuclear installation which is going to be commissioned, which I'd say over in a very rapid period of time will take a big chunk of emissions out, albeit that I think is now nearly 5 years late, that nuclear power station that they have. But again, they have their own challenges. It's not all plain sailing in Scandinavia. We always have this, I think, these lovely goggles looking at Scandinavia, everything, social legislation and environmental issues and that, on that. But that's where they are and where they have to be. And again, if they don't meet their Kyoto obligations, they'll be digging into the purse and paying for carbon credits there. Sectorally as well, probably not considered to the UK, which is kind of interesting. This major energy, transport a bit lower, and a very small agricultural sector. So this is kind of just some figures I did to finish up. If you look at our 17 tonnes, Finland 13 and UK 11 tonnes, the apportionment there, agriculture probably stands out. And then if you look at transport, it's not so much the percentage, but it's our overall footprint is 3.23 tonnes. Your average car will emit 2.5 tonnes per. The SEI figures are 2.5 tonnes of CO2 per year. So that's we have to knock this ton of CO2 emissions on that. The city lights will be a start, but it's probably going to be carbon tax. And if we can start retrofitting transport, I see they started opening up the Navan rail link on that. The new stations, new 4 tracks are coming in from around Hazelhatch and Adamstown. I mean, if you look at Adamstown, I'm not an urban planner, but I've been up and down to Cork on a train, and you say, that's it, amazingly, a well-planned, I think 10,000 people, and they have a train station within about 10 to 15 minute walk almost every house, What a novel concept to do, But that's, and that will, if you make that easy for people, they will use it, So, and I think the building fabric, etc., and all the stuff there, but, unfortunately, as Adamstown is just a microcosm of the total built fabric in the country. So, that's our, I suppose, really, that's where we are today, and this, other than engaging some, personal hobby horses of mine, I just kind of set the scene. So, setting the scene of what we've got to do, I suppose, is immediately we've got to take this down by immediately 2012. We've got to take 5 million tonnes off that. For our 2020, as you know, we have this overarching EU 2020 legislation on renewables, energy efficiency and emissions, and we've got to take it down to 55. So, 10 years, maybe, I don't know, when I was younger, a year used to be a long time, but I'm finding 10 years a very short amount of time. 2 months' time, we're in 2010. So we got 10 years to go from 65. So let's say we reach 2012, we take 69 down to 65, and then in 10 years, in 8 years to 2012, from 2012 to 2020, we've got to take another 10 million tonnes. I suppose Ireland can breathe a sigh of relief because, as you know, the EU were going to commit to a 30% reduction if there was a worldwide agreement in Copenhagen, which probably is unlikely at this stage. But we got to say to ourselves, where if we hit 65 in 2012, in 8 years, where are you, future engineers, planners, industrialists, where are we going to pull that extra 10 million tonnes out of, you know? And, you know, it's going to be for one of those, areas, but 10 million tonnes at 2020, and then ultimately by 2030 and 2050, you know, do we get to this net zero where in agriculture we can say we're a carbon-free energy exporter to offset our animal emissions, biochar, etc. coming in and that. But that's the picture of where we are. I hope not too many figures in that, but gives you an idea of our emissions today and where we get to. Thank you.